Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Art of MMA. I'm Mike Ginn. That's the mechanic, Brandon Cuttino, back in action for another week to talk some mixed martial arts. Of course, this week we got a lot to catch up on. One on Prime 2. We got Bellator 286, and then we got UFC as well before we go into Battleground. Mr. Lead Dog over there, he took the lead last time we did our picks a couple weeks ago. He will hold on tight because there are no picks coming up this week. There are no events, so it is what it is, but we'll talk about everything that happened last weekend. Of course, before we do that, head over to fightersfirst.shop. Get all the latest and greatest merch. Get the Mechanic collection. We got a dope new hoodie in there. We got the Paul Orndorff collection in there. Ivan Koloff, Kung Lee, of course. So much great stuff going on in Fighters First. Let our apparel be a part of your story. Fightersfirst.shop. Brandon, how you feeling on another victory week?
Man, feeling good, man. It's good. It's good to be back talking, some MMA with you. We didn't have a show last week, but that's because things come up.
There's a little wind spinning around. There was a whole lot of stuff going around. Of course, we record on Tuesday, so it would have been the day before the hurricane. But everything going on with Hurricane Ian down in the Tampa area, I chose to postpone the show a week, and then dealt with what we dealt with. So here we are. Power's back on. Everything's good. Back in action this week. Of course, we released Kicking It. We got a whole slate of shows coming this week. Kicking It, Art of MMA, Slamtown, and Crossing Borders, all that this week. So a lot of action for you guys on the network. Brandon, let's go ahead and get things started. Before we jump in and talk about some of the results, it was just announced yesterday or earlier today, I believe, that Deiveson-Figueiredo, Brandon Moreno is finally official, the quadrilogy, the fourth fight in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, January 21st. At UFC 283. Quick thoughts. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I am actually happy that it's happening in Brazil. Deiveson-Figueiredo, being the champion in Brazil, he finally gets to go home in his home country and defend the belt. So that's always pretty cool. So I'm definitely looking forward to that fight.
Yeah, Moreno didn't care where the fight was, so that works well for everybody. Moreno was like, just give it to me. Let me get this done. Let's get it over with. Figueiredo was finally healed up from that nasty finger injury, so we're going to get it finally. But yeah, so leave a comment. Let us know if you're excited about that. Finally, it's like one of the first time we've ever seen a fourth fight. We've seen a lot of trilogies. Very rarely do you see a fourth fight. So it's a big deal in mixed martial arts. Also, before we get to the results, there were a couple other cards going on last week that we didn't have a chance to talk about. Invicta has a brand new atomweight champion, Jillian DeCourcy. She knocked off Jessica Correa Del Boni by submission. That event took place on the 28th. So Invicta has a new atomweight. The belt was vacant for a while because the last champion, I believe, it was Porto, right? Was it Vanessa Porto?
No, because Porto is 125. This is 105. This is 105 pounds. So
I can't remember who the former champion was. I know they went to Bellator, I think, though.
So this girl was the champ. The girl that she beat was the champion, but she had beat, what's her name? Zapatelli,
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but she was champion for a while. Like 105 has been good. It's 125 where they haven't had a champion in a minute.
Oh, I was pretty sure they listed this one as vacant before the title, but maybe I'm wrong. But it was a good card. I watched some highlights at it. Caitlin Souza with a big win. Jessica Machado had a big win. So some good stuff. Invicta's still one of the best places to catch any women's mixed martial arts, action. BKFC, Lorenzo Hunt captured another title. He has the cruiserweight title now as well. Big Ben Rothwell made his debut, ran right through Bobo O'Bannon. Bobo O'Bannon might want to stay away from the MMA fighters because he's now 1-2 against them. And the one he beat was Mike Kyle, who retired in the middle of the fight. But Alan Belcher knocked him out too. So stick to the boxers. You probably have a better chance in that case. But, BKFC is always bringing the heat. I'm waiting for Jeremy Stevens to make his debut. Damn, Brandon didn't even laugh at that.
I mean, it was coming. It's all right.
And then one also had two cards. So, of course, we were talking about the one on Prime 2, but they also had their 161 the night before, which had Isaac Makaev over Xiong in the main event, Tiffany Teo versus Ritu Phogat also on that card. It's kind of funny how Ritu was at one point like can't miss, undefeated, and now she's lost I think 2 of the last 3 or 2 of the last 4. So she's running into it. That one also had Omar Kane get back on the winning track. I feel like they keep trying to punch Rueg, like they keep trying to pump him up, but then anytime we fight somebody tough, then it's like nothing. So I don't know if I can believe in that dude. I don't know. Yeah. What about you? You think he's legit?
I mean, dude, sometimes you just run into a tough person. You know, sometimes you go into a skid, but you know,
I feel like he's too muscular, right? Like he's just
yeah.
too big to like be agile.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta see. You know, he might make some changes.
I mean, maybe he has. I mean, he got the knockout, right? He did what he's supposed to do. So it is what it is. All right, let's go ahead and jump into today's show. We're talking right off the bat. One Championship had their second Amazon Prime show, one on Prime 2, headlined by a trilogy, Xiong versus Lee 3. They were 1-1 going in there. Lee came in the champion. But Brandon, she didn't leave the champion. A 5-round decision. Xiong took the win. Basically, I mean, from everything from the beginning to the end, just kind of beat Angela Lee to the punch almost every time. Did you get a chance to catch that one? And what you think about that one?
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I already told you before we went on, man. Dude, I watch one for for the kickboxing and Muay Thai. I don't really watch it for the MMA, but I'll still check it out here and there. Dude, Lee.
I watch whenever Angela Lee's on.
Yeah, I mean, Angela Lee got rocked in the first round. She got dropped, almost got finished. I mean, she did rally back, but I mean, because I know after, I think she kind of made a complaint. I think talking about maybe changing the rules or something like that, because I think she thought she won. I mean, I will say yes. It was a close fight. Because of the rallying back, but like, I mean, if you were probably going on the 10-point must system, that first round was definitely probably a 10-8, for her opponent. But to me, I did give it, to her opponent, because I just thought, she had the more powerful, damaging shots, and that's the way how I saw it.
I think the one good thing about one is there is no 10-point system, right? Like, they have the rounds, but it's really kind of like for the judges to keep notes. It's who do you think won the fight? After 5 rounds, who won the fight? After 3 rounds, who won the fight? And I think, like you said, more damage, more impact. You definitely saw Jingnan deliver, the elbow that rocked her, the overhand right, the drop. Like, all this stuff just kept, like, Angela Lee couldn't really get going. She had a little bit of moments here and there, like you said, coming back, but when you're trying to come back, you're trying to make up a difference that's already been made. And if the first impact in the judges' minds are she got messed up in the beginning, and then also in the 5th round, I believe she got like rocked a little bit too. Those are the first and last impressions on the judges' mind. You're not going to win. And I think it was a good decision. I think Xiong won. I don't think it was questionable. No, I mean, Angela Lee will probably protest it a little bit because, she's a multi-time champion and she has a little bit of say, but that was a good decision. And now Xiong got the belt back. Talk about quadrilogies. We might see a 4th one in this one. Because all 3 fights have been like one way or the other, close. So I think it was a great decision. You're also on that girl, your Stamp Fairtex, talking about kickboxing. She got the win, catchweight fight against Radzuin. Another MMA fight for her. She's now 1-1 in MMA, I believe, right?
No, because she had won the tournament that like, I guess like, and
I thought that was a kickboxing tournament.
No, it was MMA tournament. That's why that's why she was able to fight Lee.
Yeah, I thought that was a Muay Thai tournament though.
No, because that's why she was able to get the title shot against Lee, because it was MMA.
Well, I know she's got her eyes on MMA right now, I guess she's actually 9-2, so I stand corrected, 9-2. But she's got her eyes on MMA right now. She wants to make another run of that title. Whether it's her or Angela Lee against Xiong, I think it's going to be another great matchup. I think the great thing that one does is they constantly give you different athletes to take a look at that you haven't seen. And then when Americans go over there, those athletes beat the Americans most of the time. You saw Eddie Alvarez struggle. You saw DJ go up and down a little bit with Marias. Angela Lee's a crossover name across MMA. She lost to Xiong. Stamp Fairtex now is making her name with both Muay Thai and Muay Thai kickboxing and now MMA. So a lot of great athletes to take a look at. What did you think of her performance?
What, Stamp Fairtex? Yeah, I mean, it was it was good. She did what she had to do. She got the decision. So kudos to her. I mean, I think her next fight is going to be is going to be interesting, because it's it's a mixed rules fight, and she's going to be going up against Anissa Metzkin. So I'm eager to look at that one, but I'm really looking at that one for like, the more for the stand up.
What he's trying to say, he's looking at it more to hold out those secrets for Kicking It and not Art of MMA. That's what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Kicking It, he'd be talking an hour about that next fight. Also on that card, Freymanov got the win with a TKO over Ginn. We also saw Amir get the win over Nasty Yukin. I knew that name before I said the show, and then of course I got butchered on there. And then also Take O got the win against Takahashi, split decision win. Couple good shows in a row for one, right? The DJ show, now this one, they got another one coming up in a couple weeks. They're trying to make a good run of this streaming on Amazon. It's great because it's on demand, right? Like if you don't catch this live, like TNT, if you missed it, you kind of missed it.
Yeah.
This one's on demand. You miss it, go back, watch it, just like ESPN Plus with PFL and everything else. It gives you more opportunity to see the shows, same as when they do it on YouTube. So I think it's pretty cool. What do you think of the experience so far? I know you don't have Amazon Prime, but you'll be able to like catch it whenever you want.
Yeah, no, I mean it's good that they have this home in the US market. Like I said, most people do have Amazon and they can be able to watch it. The only thing is I just don't. Well, actually, no. I know on Thursday Night Football, I think Al Michaels was trying to pump it up. Trying to let the people know about it. So they're getting the crossover promotion, from NFL to go here. So maybe some people that maybe wouldn't check it out.
There's no bigger promotion than that.
Yeah, you
get the NFL, then people are going to know it exists. A lot of people have struggled switching over to Amazon for the NFL on Thursday night. I know because there are a lot of mad that they're not in local markets. And I mean, they're in local markets too. Like for instance, if Tampa played on Thursday night, the game would also be on the local channel as well. But if they're not in local markets, there's no ESPN, there's no NFL Network. It's all streaming, which is, this is kind of the way the world's going. I know a lot of people are upset about it because they're used to the broadcast method of things. But unfortunately, hey, look, everything's online nowadays. And this gives people a chance to watch it on their phone, watch it on whatever. And they can pretty much watch it for free if they're an Amazon person, which probably 70% of the world is. So I think it's a win. I think it's just more eyes on the prize, especially like you see how New Japan comes over and puts their things on Axis and some other channels. Like it's right after Impact Wrestling. So they get that crossover, which I mean, it's not much from Impact, but you know what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. It's just more eyes on the prize for international products. Because you go over internationally, everybody knows the UFC. Everybody knows WWE. They don't know some of these other smaller promotions. It doesn't really always cross over back to America. Like America kind of dominates the broadcasting. So this is a great opportunity for a big promotion to get it. Like you said, the kickboxing, the Muay Thai, those are the things that kind of steal the show. We talk MMA, but a lot of the action in one championship is kickboxing and Muay Thai. And if you've ever seen any of those shows, that's nonstop action. You can't miss it. So, shout out to Kicking It. Make sure you check that out because they talk about that every couple of weeks. And hey, look, Brandon Smile. Look at you go. We're going to switch gears, go over to Bellator. They were in action this weekend. We had both the current featherweight champion and the former featherweight champion on the same card, but not facing each other. Still have to wait a little longer to see if they do a rematch in that one. But Bellator 286 featuring Patricio Pitbull against Adam Borics in the main event. We're going to go ahead and start with that. We also had AJ McKee and Spike Carlisle, Jeremy Kennedy, and Aaron Pico. So a lot to get to, but let's go ahead and start in the main event. What did you think of it? Patricio Pitbull with the decision win over Adam Borics.
Well, if you listen to AJ McKee, he thought it sucked.
Ass.
Yeah. If you listen to AJ McKee, he does it. To me, man, I thought it was a good fight, man. Pitbull came out there, man. Like I said, kind of AJ McKee had put it out there where it is that, we maybe all thought that, this could have been Pitbull's last fight. I kind of was leaning, I really wasn't leaning towards that until I heard that his brother flew out to to be in his corner for this fight because he originally wasn't going to be. But then all of a sudden he showed up out of nowhere, had his wife, had his two boys. I was like, okay, maybe it could be true. So I was kind of waiting for it, but I mean,
couldn't be further from the truth.
yeah. But to get to the fight though, I mean, it was good, man. He was on point, did what he had to do. I want to say he pitched a shutout. To me, I think he won all 5 rounds. I mean, Adam Borics, he went for his flying knee, but Pitbull kind of always saw them coming, countered it, got him down to the ground, controlled him, just did what he had to do. And then even after the fight, he was calling out Aaron Pico. He was talking about going down to 135. So I mean, I don't think he's trying to stop anytime soon. I think he has things that he still wants to do.
I could arguably see Borics edging out one round, maybe. But the fact that one of the judges gave him 2 rounds, I thought was ridiculous. Because I thought it was a shutout. Everywhere Borics tried to go, Pitbull was better. Whether it was on the ground, whether it was defending the flying knee, whether it was just straight up on the hands, Pitbull from the very beginning threw Borics off his game right off the bat, like just straight up every position possible. Pitbull was better than. Which says a lot because the only guy who's given Pitbull trouble is AJ McKee in the recent memory, right? It's been a while since he lost before AJ. And we were talking before the AJ fight about him possibly being the best featherweight in the world, putting him up there with Max and Alex and everybody else. He had the hiccup against AJ in 9 seconds or whatever it was. Like AJ ran across, guillotined him, whatever. And then the second fight, I honestly thought AJ won, but the decision went to Pitbull. He got the belt back. This is a guy who's one of the top featherweights in the world. If he's not fighting AJ McKee, he's going to beat 90% of the rest of the featherweights in the world easily. And he showed that. He showed that he is one of the best in the world. It goes to show how good AJ McKee is, that he gave Pitbull that much trouble. But it also shows how good Pitbull is against everybody else. We'll talk about a little bit as far as Jeremy Kennedy and Aaron Pico goes in a second. But that also transitions us over into AJ McKee because he moved up to lightweight for the first time, 155 pounds, fought Spike Carlisle, who's incredibly tough, incredibly durable. I'll let you get your thoughts on this fight, and then I'm going to get mine because I kind of a little bit upset with the announced team in this fight, but I'll let you go ahead and kick off. Tell us what happened in that fight.
First off, man, shout outs to Spike Carlisle. Amazing entrance. Definitely knows, definitely knows how to get the crowd going. And like I said, dude, to me, man, Spike Carlisle he's an action fighter. He's a TV fighter, saying he's somebody that you want to put on TV that will entertain the people. And that's what happened, man. He came out,
running kick right off the bat.
Yeah, exactly. He came out, shot from a cannon. I'm saying, and he put it on AJ in the beginning. I think that kind of threw AJ off. But yeah, man, like I say, Spike, man, he is a tough guy. He's durable. I mean, he is no slouch. He is a veteran. And saying, I think he has never been finished. So I mean,
never.
But AJ though controlled the fight. Really, got him to the ground, controlled him. Striking wise, beat him up. He definitely did have the speed advantage. But I just want to say, I think maybe like saying this was AJ's first time at 155. Saying we got to see how his next fight is going to be. How it is that if he wants to stay at this weight.
So he made the comment after the fight that it's only reason he'd go to 145 is for the title. Yep. That's it. So if it's not Pitbull, it's not happening. But so we'll see what happens with that. Because obviously when we talk about it in a second, the Jeremy Kennedy Pico situation is kind of muddied up right now. But as far as this fight goes, 2 things. One, the judges got it perfectly right. You saw a 30-26, a 29-26. Like you saw the fact they understood that this was a dominating performance by AJ. Because the announcers pumped it up so much because Carlisle was putting so much pressure that somehow he was winning rounds. And I thought it was the most ridiculous thing in the world. I'm used to it from Morrow. I'm not used to it from Big John. He usually is a little bit more level-headed about it. But they were like, oh, I know he won the first round. He won. No. The fact is, Carlisle was completely wild and completely out of control the whole time. Did he put a lot of pressure on him? Yes. But if you notice, AJ was slipping in and out. He busted him up across the nose in the first round with a sharp elbow. Like, AJ was picking his shots. He was landing where Carlisle was just throwing a lot, not really landing at all. The grappling exchanges, every time AJ would get the best of it. So I will give props. Carlisle and AJ were in quite a bit of rolling. Like, they were going back and forth, sweeping each other, doing a lot of good things. But every time, who ended up on top, Brandon? It was AJ. Every time. Like, no matter how the position went, Carlisle would make it hard on AJ. He made it difficult, but AJ was there every time and coming out on top of every exchange. AJ looked like he hadn't even been in a fight after 3 rounds, whereas Carlisle was cut up every single which way. It shows sometimes that as much as the announcers are very much a part of the show and you can't watch it really without it because it'd be kind of boring, sometimes you don't get the real story unless you watch it without the announcers, because they were hyping Carlisle up so much because he was bringing the fight. That's great. Bring the fight. But he wasn't actually doing much. And so I'm surprised AJ didn't finish him off. That just shows how tough Carlisle is. But that was AJ all day. And the scorecards ended up showing it. So we'll see what's next with AJ. There's a ton of people at 155 pounds he can try that he's never fought before. I'm still not sure what's up with his contract situation, because as far as I know, he hasn't signed an extension, has he?
He has one more fight left on his contract, on his current deal.
Yeah, so he had that champions clause that extended it 3 fights, right? So one more. And we'll see. But
I mean, he's somehow doing the lightweight Grand Prix. So we'll see what happens.
I don't think he's going anywhere. I know there will be suitors. I know if he hadn't lost to Pitbull, I think UFC would be like banging on the door. But that Pitbull one kind of tarnished him a little bit, I think, because now he has to build back up that. If he goes through the Grand Prix and wins that, I think his stock will be sky high. But he's in a new division. Let's see what happens, because if he goes to the UFC, there's a ton of killers at 155 that I don't know how AJ does. I really don't. I think he's better off at 145. Like, I'd love to see him and Max like tune it up. I think that would be a fantastic fight. But at 155 pounds, I mean, even somebody like Gaethje, who comes at you crazy, kind of like Spike Carlisle or Mike Chandler, they come out with a lot more power than Spike did. So that's a different animal for me. How do you think he would fare in the 155-pound division in UFC?
I still think he would do well. Like I said, I think he just needs to fill out. Like I said, I think with him was he wasn't sure what his next fight was going to be, or should I say his next fight after this one, if he would go back to 145. So he probably wasn't trying to get too heavy, too big. So I think he's trying to see, what his future is. So to me, I still think he still has room to grow, to kind of fill his body out. So I mean, after that,
he looked almost chunky in this fight,
huh?
He looked almost chunky, like he was bigger, but he didn't look as cut as he normally is. Yeah. So maybe you're right. Like maybe he wasn't really sure which fight it was going to be. So, but he didn't look in normal AJ shape, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I still think he would take out Justin Gaethje for sure.
Yeah, I think he's more technical. I think AJ is so, like we saw it in the Spike Carlisle fight. His precision on his shots is there. Almost every shot lands, and he got overwhelmed for a second, but once he got his bearings, he just slipped this, slipped that, picked this, picked that, and did what he did. So, as far as the rest of the card, man, what a fantastic card by Bellator that night. You got Jeremy Kennedy with the unfortunate win over Aaron Pico because of the injury. We don't know if they're going to run it back. Pico wants to run it back. Kennedy wants Pedro Carvalho. So, Kennedy has this thing about going in people's backyards. Pedro's adopted Dublin is his backyard, so that's where one of the big events coming up for Bellator is. He wants on that card against Pedro. So that kind of leaves Pitbull kind of open to see who's next. I don't think Pico jumps the line after a medical loss. But like you said, Pitbull was interested in that fight. AJ could jump back in that spot. Also, you got the Grand Prix coming up. So there's a lot of things still working themselves out. But speaking of the 135-pound division, Juan Archuleta looked great against Barzola. Also in the lightweights, Keone Diggs got the win against Siexis. Mamedov got the win over Brown. J.J. Wilson, another lightweight, got the win over Tokov. Split decision. I don't think it was a split decision in my opinion. I don't know. Did you? I thought Wilson won.
Yeah. I was leaning towards Wilson, but like I said, it was that because he was on the bottom. So, they were probably giving Tokov that top control.
Tokov didn't do nothing on top. He was just laying there. Murtalazeev got the win over Best Day of TKO. The ladies flyweight division, Inaba got the win over Mandau with decision. The ever evolving case of Weber Almeida, he got a split decision win over Ryan Lilly. This is one I'm not sure about. I don't know that Weber won that fight. I gotta be honest. I don't know if you caught that one down on the prelims, but I really don't know if he won that fight. Did you see that one? I
did, but it's hard for me to kind of remember because I did watch the prelims, but I feel like there could have been one fight where I think I had to maybe get up and do something.
It wasn't the most exciting fight. You didn't miss much on that. Lance Gibson Jr. with the continued winning streak over Clark. He got the triangle choke in the first round. CJ Hamilton got the win over Placencia. Placencia got hurt. He hurt his leg.
Yep.
And then Soronio the third got the win over Peenberg. Like I said, fantastic card. What are your final thoughts on Bellator?
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Saying it's good to see a Lance Gibson Jr. keep on growing. Like I said, to me, man, he's following the footsteps of like a AJ McKee. He's Bellator from his pro debut and on. He's at 155 pounds. Racking up these W's, and you see I think usually with Lance Gibson, you kind of saw his striking. This fight, he showed off his jiu-jitsu from his back. Getting that triangle choke. So let's just keep on seeing, where it is that he goes from here.
Funny enough, his first submission win since his debut. Yeah. His debut, almost since day one. His third fight in on was Bellator. His first two were on regional scene. But in Primus FC, he got the win over Sterling Lenz by rear naked choke. So only the second submission of his career. He definitely known more for his hands. And I agree with you. I think this kid, he's got a lot of potential. And he just doesn't have any backup. He just comes straight forward for you. I think Lance Gibson's going to be fun to watch for a while. That said, that's Bellator 286. They definitely, in my opinion, out of the three shows of the weekend, I think Bellator stole the show. I think they were the best of the three. But there is one more card to talk about before we go down to Battleground. UFC was in action. The ladies were headlining UFC Vegas 61, UFC Fight Night, whatever the hell y'all want to call it. Or you can just call it the private Mark Zuckerberg show, which I have some thoughts on. Before we even get to the card, Brandon, what are your thoughts on the fact that the fans were locked out, the press was locked out, and Mark Zuckerberg had the house to himself?
I mean, to be honest with you, is at the apex. So fans, I don't really think about because it's the apex. So usually, right, it's not like a packed thing. Like they maybe have like 100 people in there, but to me, they're all friends of the fighters. It's not really
so it gets loud.
It's not really like actual fans. So that I'm not worried about. It was really kind of the media thing because, like I said, you get somebody, who maybe gets a big W, but there's nobody to like report it. There's no interviews or anything like that. So that was the only thing that I kind of had an issue with was just that no, not being any media fans. I mean, it's the apex. It's UFC owned. They can do whatever they want with that building, So I like no fans there. I'm not thinking about that. It was just the media.
I thought about the fans because, like you said, friends and family. That makes it like you're fighting for the people that are going to keep it loud for you, right? Like everybody in that fight. In the apex, everybody's involved in the fight, right? Because there's somebody that knows somebody, right? Like they're rooting for people. It's not people sitting there bored and like, oh, this is boring. These people want, well, no matter who the fighter is, right? There's somebody invested in you. The press thing I thought was stupid. Dana, like Mackenzie Dern leaked it out earlier in the week that Zuckerberg had rented out the place. Dana came out and straight up lied the next, like not even hours later saying that's bullshit. That's not true. But it was true. Whether he paid to rent it or Dana just closed it for him, whatever the point is, it was the private Mark Zuckerberg show. And I think that's a slap in the face to MMA in 2022. I think UFC won't suffer from this at all, but it's an insult to the fighters like Jan and Dern, Randy Brown and Trinaldo and all these people that come to put on a show. And it's like COVID all over again, and there's nobody there. That's not what they're fighting for. They're fighting for a reason. There's nobody to amp them up and yell, come on, let's go, except Mark Zuckerberg. So that I think it's an insult. I think it's a disgrace to the sport personally, because we know in boxing or MMA, celebrities get the front row. That's not new, but they don't get the whole damn venue. So I think it's crap. But there were some exciting fights, including the main event. Xiong got the majority decision over Dern. I kind of lean towards the draw, Brandon. I think the one judge had it right because I think Dern did get a 10-8 in the last round. She had Xiong in all kinds of trouble that last round. What did you think of the fight?
I actually gave it to Xiong. I thought Xiong did the most of the work, but again, when that last round, like really, there were no damaging shots. They were pitter patter punches. They weren't like, oh my God, you need to stop this fight. Ref, type of shots. So that's why I don't get on about the.
I was looking more at the jiu-jitsu side, like every time they got in a tangle, like Dern had her wrapped up in a pretzel.
Yeah, I mean, like say, Dern is good on the ground, but the thing is, though, man, why aren't you finishing these fights on the ground? The reason why is because she's not getting her ground and pound on. If she's really getting her ground and pound on, smashing on somebody, man, they're gonna change how they are. Then that way she can finish off with these submissions. But like I said, I thought Jan did good. Her takedown defense was good. I think Mackenzie Dern only got two takedowns. But yeah, to me, this was just Jan's fight all the way through, man. Especially that first round, she was using that side kick, to keep Dern away. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know what's next for Mackenzie Dern, man. To me, it seemed like she's not really progressing as well as we all would hope. Like I said, her striking kind of still seems to be the same. You saw her kind of still tripping over her feet, kind of running forward. So I really don't know what's going on with her, but hopefully she'll get things together.
She's in a division that has so many fun fights, whether a title's involved or not, right? Like the women's strawweight division, you're talking about this was a fight between 5 and 6. And let's be real, Jan was favored. People were talking about Dern because she's the more popular Brazilian, but more popular in America fighter. Jan's no joke. Jan's number 5 in the division for a reason. She was expected to win. It wasn't expected to be Dern. But the thing about Dern is right next to her, you got Amanda Lemos, Tisha Torres, Amanda Ribas, Verna. You got Michelle Watterson, Angela Hill, Ducati, Pinheiro. Those are all people below her. All of those are a fun fight with with Mackenzie Dern. All of those are a fun fight. Can Mackenzie win some? Sure. Can she lose some? Sure. Like you said, she struggles with the striking department, but she world-class jiu-jitsu. We know that. As far as Xiong goes, I think she's stuck in a no man's land because unless she fights Andrade or Rodriguez again, she's stuck waiting between Carla, Rose, and Weili to work out the title picture, right? Because Weili gets the first shot at Carla, but then Rose will probably be sitting there for another rematch coming up after that. So all those fighters from Andrade on down are stuck waiting to see that picture kind of evolve. What would be a fun fight for Jan? She's the one that won this fight.
I mean, to me, I feel like she probably could be the one who could be fighting Rose because to me, Michelle Rodriguez is really, to me, the true number 1 contender. So to me, she should get the winner of Weili and Esparza.
Marina Rodriguez.
I'm sorry, Marina. Sorry, I'm thinking of the actress Fast and Furious over here. My apologies.
Letty, you got Letty on your mind?
Yeah, that's how I see it. Like I said, I think Rodriguez is the true number 1 contender. I think she should get the winner of the Weili and Esparza fight. I mean, Rose is just kind of chilling out. Nobody's really know what's going on with her.
I don't think Rose wants to fight unless it's for the title, so I think she'll probably wait.
I mean, she could be waiting for a while because I mean, like I say, how you going to give her a title shot after? I mean, people want to crap on her last fight, so it's like, well, then why is she gonna get a?
Well, in fairness, they crapped on both of them for the last fight. It was probably the most boring fight in the history of UFC.
Yeah. So to me, we got to let her get another fight in.
And arguably, look, I'm not usually on Brandon's side when it comes to like champions not getting rematches. I know he's not against that. He makes them want to work their way back up. But I kind of agree with you on this one because that last fight against Weili, she won, but she really didn't. Like, she lost 3 of those 5 rounds. Like, I don't care how could you, she only started wrestling and taking over the last 2 rounds. It was too late. I don't know how she got that decision. I don't. Obviously, the fight before that, she knocked Weili clean out. So, Rose is always great to watch, and I love to see her in that title picture. But maybe she does have to win one fight to get back there. I kind of agree with you a little bit on that one. And maybe
I'm just saying, dude, like, she won the belt. She had 2 title defenses against the same person, and she lost. Now you want to give her another title shot? Like, I don't get it. Like, why? When, to me, again, I think of Robert Whittaker, who was a champion, dominating, lost.
Here we go.
He had to work himself back. That's all. I don't get it. That's why I don't get it. So why is it that Whittaker didn't get an automatic rematch?
I'm gonna put Rose in the box with Stipe. Rose and Stipe are gonna go hang out and chill because they're not allowed to get any title shots anymore.
No, I'm just saying, man. Like, I don't get it. How is it that they're getting title shots right off the yank when, to me, they didn't really do anything? But you get someone like Robert Whittaker, who, to me, did. But hey, it is what it is.
All right, moving on. Co-main event: Randy Brown got the win against Trinaldo. I don't think anybody's really surprised. Kind of went the decision. I was surprised Randy didn't get the stoppage, but Trinaldo's a longtime veteran. What happened in that fight?
Hey, dude, man, Trinaldo's a tough guy, man. Like I said, he has massive experience, has power. Randy Brown, I think, actually put a tweet out about it. Basically saying how hard Trinaldo hits. But hey, man, Randy Brown, did what he had to do to get the job done. Got his hand raised. Like I said, I think he had the speed advantage. And he had the length, so he was trying to use his reach, to kind of keep Trinaldo in the striking range, and he was just landing on him.
Yeah, I don't think Randy took too many chances, not like he normally does. I think he did play it safe a little bit, but I don't think there was really much question about that decision. And then Randy's also in another weird position of like top 15 maybe opponent, but he keeps winning. You got to give him somebody better sooner or later at 170. But I don't really know who's really kind of in line with him because he's just at a weird position. Like there's so many people above him, but they probably shouldn't be above him. Him and Neil Magny might be a good fun fight if Magny wins coming up soon. Magny and Rodriguez are getting ready to fight. A guy who's kind of just slid down the rankings because he hasn't been active, Michael Chiesa, might be a fun fight for Randy Brown. Michelle Pereira, another fun fight. The 170-pound division, the rankings have been kind of flipped upside down in the last few weeks. So there's a lot of new faces towards the top 10. I'm surprised somebody like Stephen Thompson is hung tight at 7, but somebody like Chiesa has dropped all the way to 12. Anyway.
Well, Stephen Thompson has fought like Chiesa, I think, hasn't fought in a minute.
Well, Thompson hasn't fought since what?
He lost
Burns fight?
Yeah, the Burns fight.
That was like early
this year. When's the last time
long ago?
Wasn't it January?
I go back to the damn page. Thompson last fought. Jesus, that had to have been December. Oh no, he fought Bilal. Yeah, Bilal Muhammad last December. And Bilal beat him, out wrestled. And then the last fight Chiesa had was, I want to say, earlier this year.
It was the Brady fight.
The Brady fight. Oh yeah, last November. So they both been out pretty much almost all year long. So, at least Michael Chiesa's on TV every week. I don't
hey man, Stephen Thompson was in Cobra Kai season 5, all right?
I haven't watched it yet. Stop it. I've been busy. Plus, I had a hurricane. Anyway, also on the card, Barcelos looked great against Trevin Jones. The Trevin Jones saga always continues. He looks great. He doesn't look great. Don't know what to make of him sometime. Yusuf with the guillotine over Shananis. Mike Davis with the win over Borshev. Santos got the win in a catchweight fight, knockout over Costenda. Ilir Latifi and Olenek, 2 seasoned vets, went the decision. Latifi got the win. Silva got
Latifi, baby.
Yeah. I never really like him at heavyweight. I like him at 205. I don't really like him at heavyweight, but it is what it is. Silva got the win, TKO over Ronson at lightweight. Brendan Allen, I can't believe he was so far down on this card, but he got the win over Jocko over a rear naked choke. Chelsea Chandler got the win over Stolyarenko with a TKO, and Canetti with the win over Randy Costa, which, by the way, shocked the hell out of me. I couldn't believe Randy Costa lost to this guy. He's looked so great his last 3 fights, and in this fight, he just got caught rear naked choke. What are some of your highlights on this card?
Was it Yusuf, man, with the submission? He just went out there and just did what he had to do. So he made it look. He did make it look easy. It was quick and easy first round.
30 seconds.
Yeah, over and done with. Mike Davis, man, looking jacked out there. Man, was shredded out there, just doing his thing. He did what he had to do as well. Man, looked real good. And then was it? I think you just said her name, Chelsea.
Chelsea Chandler.
Yeah, Chelsea Chandler with her UFC debut. Went out there, did her thing, calling out your girl Dumont. She's trying to revive that 145 division, but we all know that division's dead, basically.
Yeah, they keep trying. Like every time we put a nail in that coffin, somebody tries to get the nail remover and yank it out with a hammer or something. I don't know why. Just Like, take that money and go to Bellator or something. Make that money over there. Like, that's a real 145-pound division.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you got to go to bantamweight or strawweight or flyweight in the UFC. Like, that's just it. That's where all the fights are.
I mean, she said that she could do 135. She just said that she would need some more time. I think she said probably like January she would be ready for a 135 fight.
What do you think about Brendan Allen? Because this guy has only lost twice in the last couple of years, like Sean Strickland, Chris Curtis. Other than that, he's just run through everybody. You have to, in every fight he's ever lost, all 5 fights are UFC fighters, whether it was in the regional scene or now. Mm-hmm. Like, this guy has just run through everybody, and yet he's like the 3rd fight on the card. He's getting no respect anymore.
I don't think any of the Allens are getting any respect. Brendan Allen, Arnold Allen, it's all the same, man. I don't know. It could be an Allen thing.
I mean, at this point, Brendan isn't even ranked.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's been that active though, right? Hasn't he too, just like Arnold Allen, kind of been a little inactive as well?
No, this is his 3rd fight of the year. He fought Jocko, he fought Malkoun, and he fought Sam Alvey back in February. And in December, he lost to Chris Curtis. He's been nonstop active. Arnold Allen's been inactive, but Brendan's been fighting.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because the person above him.
I mean, you don't have to be ranked after three dubs all the time, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, he's been in the UFC now since 2019, and he's only lost 2 fights, and he's won like 8 or 9. And he was ranked at one point. The crazy thing is, and you know I love Brad Tavares, but I see Brad Tavares more on the Raiders sideline or the Raiders stands cheering on his Raiders in Las Vegas than I do see him in the cage, and Brad's still ranked 15th. So I don't get it. They got Duplessis above him. They got, I mean, I know middleweight's a stacked division, but I think this guy's got to get at least a top 15 opponent next. But anyway, that is the UFC. Time to move on to Battleground, our final subject of the day, because there are no picks to be made. I have to wait another week to come back and get my lead dog status back. But in the meantime, we're talking a little WWE. We're talking a lot of UFC. Daniel Cormier. You know, WWE likes to bring in celebrity guests from time to time. But this one's a little different because this one has been teased for a long time that Daniel Cormier always said when his fighting career was done, he'd probably go to WWE. Now, that didn't happen. He took the TV gig. The feud with Brock Lesnar in the cage kind of never went anywhere. There was supposed to maybe be a real fight or a WrestleMania fight, and neither one actually happened. COVID happened. A lot of stuff have happened since. But for the first time, we're going to see at Extreme Rules, Daniel Cormier in a WWE situation. It's not a ring, it's the fight pit. Matt Riddle, of course, former UFC fighter, and Seth freaking Rollins. I hate saying the freaking part, but Seth freaking Rollins in the fight pit. It's a match that's kind of been successful in NXT. Way back in the day, you saw Ken Shamrock do a version of it with the dungeon fight with Owen Hart and stuff like that.
In the Lions Den.
He did a Lions Den. I think he did one with Dan Severn too in WWE. So we've seen this a number of times, and they normally do like to bring in a former MMA fighter to kind of make it look legit, right? But Brandon, this is my question to you. A, what are your thoughts on Daniel Cormier going over and doing the refereeing for the fight or for the match? And B, is this the beginning? Because he's talked about this. He's been a huge fan. You know his love for WWE. Is this the beginning with now Triple H in charge, making all these changes? Is it time to see Daniel Cormier and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania next year?
So to answer your first question, it's pretty cool, you know, that Daniel Cormier is going to be there. You know, I think they maybe try to use it to kind of juice up the pay-per-view because maybe it was kind of looking a little lag. But to answer your second question, no, I don't see it happening anytime soon, maybe even ever. Like say, Brock Lesnar straight up said, "Hey, Vinnie Mac is done. I'm done too with pro wrestling."
No, Brock's gonna be back in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see.
No, he's not. They already worked out a new deal with him.
All right, and then plus two, man, I just don't see it with DC and the WWE. Like I said, I can see him doing this real quick. You know, saying he's just being a ref. You know, he might get involved. Maybe hit somebody with a suplex here and there. You know, on Seth Rollins. But other than that, I don't see much happening.
So as far as Brock goes, he's going to come back in the next couple weeks to build up for a Saudi Arabia match with Bobby Lashley. That's pretty much going to be the Saudi Arabia big payday.
Yeah, you sure, man? I mean, I just saw Seth Rollins freaking stomp him 2 times over. It looks like Seth Rollins.
They got a rivalry going on Raw right now, but the word for a long time has been it's going to be Bobby and Brock in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is a different event. That It doesn't matter about storylines. It's about the paydays, whatever the rich Saudis want to see. Vince, he brought Shawn Michaels out of retirement for Saudi Arabia. Like, anything's possible for that amount of money that they throw at WWE for that. Even with Triple H in charge now, it's not any different. You're seeing Logan Paul get a title shot against Roman Reigns. It's a show. It's not a storyline. It's a show. It's one show. It's a one-off event. Anything can happen. But that said, I do kind of think that Daniel Cormier is putting his foot in the water because, like you said, maybe it's not against Brock, but maybe something happens between him and Seth because Seth is the bad guy. Daniel's going to come in as a good guy, probably favoring Matt Riddle or whatever the case is. Maybe something does develop, like, a little rivalry, and then maybe a celebrity match at WrestleMania with Seth. I could see that too. You build. There's Royal Rumble. There's another time to get a big celebrity, one of the big 4 events. I think this is Daniel Cormier putting his foot in the water. And maybe I'm saying that as a fan, but I just feel that he's wanted to do this for so long that I don't think he can just put his foot in the water and pull it back out. I think like once he gets in, that bug's going to hit him and he's just going to be like, all right, I want to do this. And especially if he gets physical. If he gets physical at all, if he just stays in refs and kind of whatever, cool, no, he's not going to do it. But if he gets physical, I know he's going to get that itch. It's no different when that little weasel dude started mouthing off to you in UWA Elite. And then you had to go and fight him, right? You took your gloves off. He was cheating. Same thing. Y'all get that itch. By the way, when you going back to wrestling?
They actually did try to get me. They did try to get me, but I was unavailable. So we'll see.
That should be the real scoop of the show. When's Brandon going to wrestle again?
There are talks, man. There are talks here. I was at the last show. Somebody came up to me. We were maybe talking about a tag team thing or something like that, man. You never know, man. Plenty of options are coming my way in 2023, wrestling wise and fighting wise. So we're just listening.
Look, I don't want to fight Brandon in a kickboxing ring, but UWA Elite. Never in a kickboxing ring. Never. I'm not stupid. I'm brave. I'm not stupid. I know what the mechanic can do in a kickboxing ring, and as does everybody else. Everybody, leave a comment. Let us know. What do you think about Daniel Cormier going to WWE? Is it one time off? Is it something the start of beginning of something? I know the headlines kind of came out this week. People are still digesting, but let us know. Leave a comment. As far as picks go, no picks this week because all the events, Brandon took the lead a couple weeks ago, and then they didn't want to let me get my revenge. Hurricane came. And now there's no events, and I got to wait like 3 weeks to get my damn revenge on Brandon. But that said, the Giants keep winning, so it's not so bad. I should have wore my Saquon jersey for this game, or this show, or my Daniel Jones one, either way, because it's a good time. It's a good time to be a Giants fan. Once again, it's been a long time. So,
Brandon, Davis Webb,
it might be this week. It really might be. I just want to know, with all the receivers we're losing, why the hell is Alex Bachman not getting a phone call?
Somebody hey, Odell Beckham was in the building, baby. OBJ.
I think there's 2 things. I'll drop this. I know it's not a football show. Landon Collins is close to resigning. We'll see if we can get a deal with him because we're so cap strapped. Landon Collins is close to resigning with the Giants. You know how I love Landon. That's my dude. Him and Xavier, oh my God, especially with Love being hurt right now in concussion protocol. And there is a very good chance, but knock on wood, knock on whatever, he's my favorite player. So there is a very good chance that by Thanksgiving, Odell Beckham Jr. is back in the Giants uniform. Saquon's on the phone with him. Joe Shane's been on the phone with him. The Rams keep losing, which is good for us. Every Rams loss is good for Giants fans. I know there's a lot of old heads that don't want Odell back, but trust me, there's not been a wide receiver since or before Odell that does what he does. None. I think Steve Smith had 1 year. Like, there's nobody's put up the numbers he put up.
I mean, Cruz, Hicks, Manningham, that was a good trio.
Yeah, and I love Victor Cruz. Still got my Cruz jersey back there, but that was a couple years. Yeah. Done. Hakeem Nicks, a couple years. Done. Manningham was 1 year, pretty much. It was a Super Bowl. I'll take it. But then he was pretty much like he tried to go to the 49ers and other things didn't work out.
Yep.
Odell Beckham's been a star wherever he's gone. He helped the Rams win a Super Bowl before he tore his ACL. So bring me back. Bring me back, Odell. Y'all can take Kenny Galladay. He did great with Stafford. Send him his ass out to L.A. I'm done with Galladay. That's that. But this is an MMA show, so I'm going to wrap it up with this. No events this weekend, but always check out FightersFirst.shop. Got a lot of great collections. Got a really dope. You got Brandon wearing the old hoodie. Go check out the new hoodie we just put out for Brandon. It's a deconstructed version of his 2016 debut shirt. It's dope. Comes in multiple colors, including the sea of purple.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Tune Up Crew. Go get that. Check out FightersFirst.shop. This is Art of MMA. I'm Mike Ginn. That's the mechanic, Brandon Cuttino. We are out.